Tonight, the new Australian sports car that's built here but cheaper to buy overseas. The high cost of spare parts. Are you getting your money's worth? We look at car conversions and accessories, from the affordable to the outrageous. And is it a Holden or a Toyota? Can you tell the difference?
Six years ago, this was just a dream. A dream to mass-produce a convertible sports car in Australia and sell it to the Americans. Few believed it would work, especially when consistent quality control is still such a problem. But a handful of people within Ford Australia decided to take the gamble and sell a convertible to the home of the convertible in the toughest market in the world. This is the result, the new Ford Capri. 4 cylinders, 1.6 litre, Italian design, Japanese engine, and the first Australian car to be exported to the United States.
This car allows us in a small way to participate in what's going on in the rest of the world. We haven't seriously been an export for quite some time. And unless we do make a step in that direction, I think we're in danger of being left behind, or certainly losing the skills that we have in Australia for product development.
Ford Australia has spent a massive $327 million in the design and engineering of the car and in the construction of the Broadmeadows production plant north of Melbourne. According to the Automotive Industry Authority, it's long overdue.
Well, I think we're getting serious about making cars. I think it is true to say we haven't been serious about it in the past because we haven't seen the world as our market. We've decided that the only market that we really want to cater for is the local market. This local market is too small if we're to achieve our long-term objectives as having a strong, viable industry which is able to supply Australian consumers and world consumers with good quality products at relatively cheaper prices.
So eventually a serious export industry will give us good quality product at cheaper prices. But at what cost?
Okay, the car is ready to go.
So far, Australian taxpayers have financed a $15 million development grant from the federal government. We've also suffered long delays because of a $100 million budget blowout in the Capri project, mainly because Ford had to install air safety bags in the exported version. The fact is, Ford is building this car for the Americans. Of the 40,000 to be made by the end of next year, only 5,000 will be released on the Australian market. When it comes to buying a new car, there's no such thing as a bargain. But the Ford Capri comes pretty close, ranging in price from $23,000 for the standard model to $28,000 for the turbo. But there's just one catch, because this Australian car will be around $4,000 cheaper to buy in the United States, despite the cost of exporting it halfway around the world.
I think you've got to see that in the context of how competitive the US market is, because it's the one market in the whole world that allows absolutely anybody in.
But nevertheless, you can still sell it cheap in the US. Do you think that Australian consumers are going to be happy about the fact that a car can be sold cheap in the United States?
Oh, if you ask me, would I prefer to pay less money? The answer, of course, is yes. I think as Australian consumers, we have to look at it on the basis that if we weren't selling this car in the United States, we wouldn't be selling the car at all.
Ford denies that Australians are subsidising its latest venture, arguing that we'll benefit from an estimated $400 million in overseas sales. But the export income won't change our balance of payments. It will simply give Ford added incentive to import $400 million worth of goods back into the country. At the moment, it won't solve our economic woes, but it's certainly made an impression. You like my car? It soon became clear why Ford has received more than 2,000 advanced orders for the Capri. Some onlookers couldn't resist. Well, if you've always wanted to own a little red convertible but don't have $23,000, there is an alternative. It's much cheaper, much more efficient. The only problem is it takes a little longer to get around.
Until next Tuesday then, good night.
If you'd like to know more about protecting yourself as a consumer, the investigators and Choice magazine have produced a definitive practical guide to your consumer rights, The Complete Consumer. It's available now from all ABC shops and good bookstores. Stay with us now for GP right after a news update.